Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. My hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicky Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on Your Black World TV, the home for intelligent Black people. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have much to discuss. Are you hearing me today? Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm looking forward to our conversation today, and thank you for your kind words, beloved. I'm looking forward to our important war briefing today on the complicity of our Black politicians. Somebody talk Black to me. The Black bootlicks, the boule, what we saw take place last week on the Capitol in DC. I submit to you, it did not happen in a vacuum. Are y'all hearing me? It did not happen in a vacuum. And we're going to delve into what I mean by that. Just a little bit of housekeeping, family, before we get ready to get into it. As you come in, please come in, giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Also, we want you to be aware of the fact that we have a school, a business school, to provide you with the necessary tools to start your own Black business, learning from Black people. Somebody talk Black to me. We always give you actionable knowledge here and actionable information. And the way you can join us is two ways. Of course, I'm on yourblackworldtv.com today, which I'm normally on flynubianqueentv.com. But we're doing a special all this week, joining you live here on Your Black World TV. And as you can see, no notifications through this platform if it's gone out. But that's okay. We believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. And we are trying our best to get everyone acclimated to me doing a live show, the Vicky Show here live all this week. So tell everybody that you know. So come on in. Just know about our school, flynubianbusiness.com. That's flynubianbusiness.com, as well as theblackbusinessschool.com. Shout out to our moderator, Motown House, is in the digital building. Throughout the broadcast, you're going to see important links in the chat. And so we want you to take note of those, okay? Shout out to you, Descendant Lair. Tell us, Queen Vicky, those receipts are much appreciated. You're so welcome, beloved. And thank you for your support and your financial backing. And those of you that support both me and the network, I want you to know that I so appreciate, beloved, your support of us. And it is noted and it's blessed 1,000-fold, family. Thank you so very much. I know the notification, some of you may be getting this, I know, through the phone, but not through the network. So that's okay. The right people will see the broadcast at the right time. Thank you so very much. Now, let's talk about more fallout from this white supremacist terrorist attack that took place in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol. Are y'all hearing me today? Y'all do understand, Black family, that it was not just the White House that was built by the American descendants of slaves. You do understand that, right? So was the Capitol. And what I want you to know today, dear family, is that that open attack, even symbolically, infiltrating further, people have used actually biblical and spiritual language to describe the Capitol as like an altar for democracy. They've used all types of sacred, even esoteric terms to describe the recent attack, terrorist attack that the country experienced. What I want you to understand, dear family, is that the White House, which was built by us, the Capitol, which was built by us, and so many others, is a place that was built by the enslaved and the oppressed. The place that this terrorist attack took place on was housed by white supremacists who refuse to repair us through reparations, and who, after 466 years, I'm going to need somebody Black to put hashtag 466 in the chat. In fact, it doesn't matter if you're Black. If you any other nationality or color or race, background, creed, or what have you, you can put 466 in the chat too. Somebody talk Black to me. I want you to consider the profundity of this reality, that the place that was under attack was a place that was built by the enslaved, by the oppressed. The place that was under attack is considered to be sacred ground, watch this, for your lawmakers, my God, today. The lawmakers who once advocated, watch this, and legislated, my God, today, your oppression and slavery. I want you to think about this. I want you to keep in mind that this space that America deems to be holy ground is the altar, as some of them have said, of democracy. A democracy, a space, rather, again, that was built by slaves, that houses the very white supremacist legislators, rapists, pedophiles, thieves, kidnappers, and killers, provided a space, built a space for them to legislate your oppression, watch this, and every single party, including your good white folk, somebody say Bernie Sanders. I'm saying that facetiously. I have no particular respect and love for him, but some of you think he's special. See, Killer Mike and T.I. and stuff. Some of you all think that Oh, he's special. Y'all think he's some good white folk. Watch this. But Bernie, the one thing that all of these folk have in common is that they do not believe in reparations for Black people. Mitch McConnell, Bernie Sanders, and Barack Hussein Obama all reject and are hostile to the notion of reparations for foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves. Somebody black, talk black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Like and share. Big shout out to my Instagram family. Instagram, I want you to get ready to come on over to flynubianqueentv.com because I'm getting ready to use this device with the quickness. So come on over, Instagram family, to flynubianqueentv.com. Come on over, come on over. By the way, family, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. I'm so pleased that all of you have joined us today on Your Black World TV. You do understand that we were interrupted last week on flynubianqueentv.com, but we're going to be doing a special all week on Your Black World TV until we can figure out the background, okay? Thank you so much for joining us. We know that the notifications on the platform of Your Black World have not gone out, but we believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. Thank you so much for your kind words, family. So when I ask that you give us a thumbs up, like, and share, at the bottom of your screen, there's a share button. Copy the share button, and then you can paste that on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Snapchat, or whatever social media outlet you are on. Share, text, email it to someone right now and tell them that the Vicki Show is live on Your Black World to get your war briefing for today. Very important that we support and market our own. So on the count of 3, please give us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you're watching us on Your Black World TV or one of our YouTube affiliates. If you happen to be watching us on one of our other networks where we're affiliated with and our show is aired, please like and follow on the count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you so very much. Shout out to our V-Hive that's in the digital building. It's always an honor to see you all over the place and always supporting and pushing and marketing all that I'm doing and involved in. You make all of the networks I'm associated with stronger by your support, and I thank you so very much. All right, family, let's get right into it without further ado. I beg your pardon in advance. I'm sucking on a lozenge for medical reasons, so thank you so much for your understanding. Now listen, today I want to talk about another aspect of the DC terrorist attack. This was not a demonstration. I don't want to see any black looking people. None of you funny looking bones and biscuits that's giving the white supremacists the benefit of the doubt by using language with unforgivables. By comparing what the white supremacists do to black folk in the street that's protesting for injustice. Don't you dare use the word demonstration. Don't you dare use the word protesters. You must be out of your mind. I don't give a doggone what funny looking black bootlick comes out here twitching, excited that the white man gave them a break legally or criminally. Don't make me say names. Any black person that's acting like what went down last week was anything other than a white supremacist terrorist attack should be looked at with a side eye and kept at far, 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 far distance. We don't have time for you all to misapply your intelligence. God, where is my hammer today? Y'all know I'm holding court. Somebody talk black to me. We don't have time for you to misapply your intelligence and your ability to reason to someone that's your open enemy and that's responsible for the rape of your mother, the sodomizing of your father, the theft and kidnapping and trauma that all of your black family has experienced wholesale. We don't have time to sit up here with you and you to use language that you would use with anybody else with them. All I saw was just some people that just disagreed, and some of them believe in the deep state. Some of them just want freedom. All of them that's with down there wasn't a racist that's against Trump. Some of them just want, we ain't got time for your slow self. You are a danger to black society, and we don't have time to do nothing but speak straight words. The hour is too late for us to sit here and pussyfoot with you. We don't have time to tiptoe and play around. We're in war and we're dying. People that do that are compromised by the white supremacists. I said people that do that are compromised by the white supremacists, and they are black sellouts. Yes, every single one of them are. Now watch this. I'm talking today about black politicians. Y'all pay attention. Instagram, get ready to come over to Your Black World TV. Instagram, get ready to come on over to Your Black World TV. Not Fly Nubian, but Your Black World TV. Now, family, watch this. Black politicians who tolerated open racist or open white supremacists are now scared. What do you mean, Vicky? Well, let me show you what I posted a little bit ago on Instagram. Instagram, I'll see you over here in just a second, okay? Thank you so much. Family, let me finish posting this on Instagram real quick. And while I do that, I trust that you are liking, sharing, and subscribing. I trust that you're liking, sharing, and subscribing to the network and to this podcast. Now, watch this. I know we're going to have quite a few folk that stand big time for both former President of the United States, Barack Obama, as well as your Southern bootleg that is Mr. James Clyburn. I need you to understand why I'm talking about them and this in the context of last week's white supremacist attack. Now watch this. I'm posting this last little bit up on my Instagram page. So I thank you for your patience. And I thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Like I said before, I know that the notifications have not gone out on this this platform, but that's okay. I always say at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. But you can help to assist by liking and by sharing. Thank you so very much. Shout out to you, Black Mama. You know why I'm saying that to you, dear sister. Looks like you are a moderator and you have been such an amazing supporter of Black media. And we're so, so very, very grateful for that, my dear sister. You know why I'm saying that. So I bless you. Now, listen, this is what I posted today shortly before I came on. So, family, we're going to need you to be intelligent in our conversation today. Do you see this that I posted? I want you to take a good look at these two faces in particular. Excuse me. Do you all see these two? Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Now let's talk. I said Black politicians who tolerated open racists are now scared. Now, you know, last week I have been giving you back-to-back coverage, and you obviously understand that the censorship and the attempts to silence truth coming from voices like mine, you know, we're seeing that happen now as it relates to different platforms. I won't go further on that right now. But dear family, the failure to pay attention and heed the voices that warned you about these threats. Some of you that would watch the Vicky show, me here or me on FlyNewBeingQueenTV.com or one of our other affiliate networks or one of the other large Black networks that I'm on where I contribute to as well. When you guys hear me, you know I'm always giving inspiration, information, and power to my people. But you know I have a particular emphasis on exposing what 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 refers to in one translation as the man of lawlessness. You do understand that I seek to be a voice for our ancestors, where I am always discussing the danger and what we ought to do about the very real 466-year-old threat that we still experience today. Thank you, AJ. True beauty and soul. Thank you. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Jadine, I bless your gift 1,000-fold. And others that are giving to continue to make the Black media's war chest fat. Thank you so much. Listen, some of you probably wondered if Vicky discusses our open enemy. Vicky regularly tells us that we're at war. Why is it that folk in mainstream media, corporate media, and other spaces and places, why aren't your Black bootlicks? Why is it that your Uncle Roro and them and your others are not on a consistent basis, not convoluting and distracting from and mixing and amalgamating, somebody talk Black to me, the topic of Black, anti-Black racism? Why is it that other folks are talking about LGBTQ? Why is it that other folks are sitting here talking about all these other miscellaneous topics and the importance of prioritizing other immigrants before us and other people groups and all of these other different interests and agendas? Why are other folks emphasizing the deep state and stuff? And why are other folks talking about communism and what is capitalism and stuff? Why is it that those folks are out there talking about all that other stuff and mixing in and not making a priority and emphasizing the danger of white supremacy? Look at the state of the world now. Look at what happened last week. The thing about white supremacy, it's the truth and there's the lie of white supremacy. Somebody talk black to me. I said there's the truth and then there's the lie of white supremacy. We know that white folks individually are not more supreme than us. There is nothing organically, naturally, biologically that makes them better than us in and of themselves. That's the lie of white supremacy. The truth of white supremacy is that there are actual infrastructure and systems that has been built on that lie that strategically work against, undermine, prevent, frustrate, and foil black liberation, black success, black upward mobility. And those systems that have been built on the lie of white supremacy have built-in advantages for white folks. Somebody talk black to me. So I don't need somebody to come to me and say, well, why do they say white supremacy? White people ain't more supreme to me. Come on, family. This is home for intelligent black people. You have to understand the sense in which we're speaking. It's important for us to specifically point to these things because some of you want to talk about why do we have problems with black on black crime, which we know that's a lie. We understand it doesn't mean that no black person has killed another black person, but the average black person doesn't go kill another black person. Those individuals are pariahs. They're rarities. More than that, most crime has a direct connection to what? Poverty. The issue with health disparities, the issues between economic disparities. Somebody talk black to me, obviously. Most issues educationally and otherwise, at the end of the day, most of these issues have to do with what? Economics. So when I'm talking about the demand for reparations, when I'm discussing black folk doing for self, I am dealing with the root. My God, today I said I'm dealing with the root. When you gonna talk about the crime in the black community? What I'm talking about is what needs to be talked about because Vicky discusses the root. You're discussing the fruit. I discuss the root. And even further, white supremacy is the problem with health disparities, political disparities, law enforcement, crime, health, medical, educational, familial, which means in your family. We have learned how to exist and tiptoe around and adjust to oppression. Instead of us saying, you know what? We're going to have to make it our business to eradicate white supremacy because that's what's messing us up in every other area of people activity. I know some of you think that you're more leveled up and more sophisticated. Some of you have engaged in white supremacy spiritual concepts. So you think that you're going to attach yourself to a universal principle and pretend like racism doesn't exist, God, and that you don't deal with an open enemy. Some of your favorite white gurus never mention that they and their people have a problem with white supremacy. You don't understand that it's not just one universal law. There are multiple universal laws that are at work. So you don't get to just talk to me about no law of attraction and don't talk to me about the matter of justice and truth. Because everything you see in creation is built upon truth. And the reason the earth is actually acting against some of the inhabitants is not just about climate change. It has to do with the mistreatment of the mothers and fathers of civilization. I know it's not sexy when Vicky's talking about spirituality. You get excited when Marianne Williams, the lady that was running for president, you get excited when you see one of these unremarkables talk about spirituality. And many of the principles that they discuss came from Black ancient practices anyway. But it's got a twist on it. So it looks sexy to you and attractive to you because you haven't even heard what was already yours in the first place. And so because they've got a lot of goods and a lot of notoriety, fame, fortune, and influence, you automatically consider them to be a guru, even though they're just using their influence and the knowledge that they have to lead your funny looking self in a ditch. So for 5 minutes, it looks like they know what they're talking about. But we see that the world is in a spiral. It's devolved into a thing of humiliation because there are set prophetic principles that our very Black ancient spiritualists left us clues to know that there was going to be an end to this mystery Babylon because of her mistreatment of us. I know I just dropped a whole lot of something right there. Some of you may not get it, but others of you do. Miller says, speak on this, sis. You know I will. So I see some of you very deeply melanated Negroes out there that's talking about the law of attraction only, which I believe in. But it has to work in conjunction with the other universal laws that are at work. So I see some of you funny looking Negroes who the police just spit in your face and shot your nephew in the back. You out here running around talking about rise above it all without saying what it is you're supposed to be rising above, which is white supremacy. You want me to learn how to do jumping jacks and double dutch concerning white supremacy. Instead of you just making it your business, you know what? We're going to have to just decide we're getting ready to deal with white supremacy to get rid of this stuff so that we don't have to be sitting here telling Black folks how messed up we are because of our food. Our food is messed up. Our neighborhoods are messed up. Our family's messed up. Our religion is messed up. Our education is messed up. The way you see the world is, everything is wrong with us. When my thing is, if the root of this is white supremacy, don't talk to me about nothing else that's wrong with Black folk until we get to the root. Because I can assure you the moment we substantively remove the domination, at least, of this plague over us, the symptoms would leave. Some of you know that I was diagnosed years ago with a medical disability related to one of my organs. The issue related to my organ, and how many of y'all know I'm on my journey? I'm not receiving it as an ultimate lifelong thing. I've had numerous symptoms, other issues with another organ. I've been hospitalized more times than I can tell you. One time I couldn't even walk. Family, I had multiple blood clots. One they were afraid was going to be fatal. I was on so many different things, so much going on, so many doctors, so many clinics, so many hospitalizations. And all of those things weren't even the root cause. The root cause had to do with inflammation of one of my organs. But these other things were symptoms of that or the medicines that they had me on. Can I make it plain for some of y'all? Because some of y'all don't get this. You think you smart and intelligent because you talk about all these other ancillary and secondary and tertiary issues in society. You think that you just gonna ignore white supremacy and just level up. Once the issue, the root cause of my problem is dealt with, guess what? most of these other issues, somebody talk black to me, that I've had to deal with would go away. So black family, like it or lump it, the news that I discuss, the emphasis that I place on this matter is the issue. And I don't have to scream that I'm right. Circumstances and situations prove it. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. My name is Vicki Dillon. I'm a very proud contributor here on yourblackworldtv.com, as well as Flot Nubian Queen and other affiliate networks. We're so pleased that some of you all have joined us today. We're so honored. Please like, please share, subscribe. We thank you all, those of you that are coming in now, because no notifications on the network went out, but that's okay. I always say that I believe at the right time, what? The right people will hear this broadcast, but you can help us when you like, when you share, and when you subscribe. So would you please do that? I emphasize that whether black folk like it or not, and whether I'm tired of saying it. Well, family, this is not natural. This is not a normal media outlet. We don't have multi-million-dollar white sponsorships here. When you like and share, you are helping us to market the show, and you make it more likely that other black folk and other well-meaning people will hear the broadcast and tune in. That's how it works. Thank you so very much. Now, Vicki, get on to it. Now that you've preached. Now watch this. Who did you see on my post? Congressman James Clyburn, right? Former President of the United States, who? Barack Obama. Watch this. With the events that took place last week, it was a very serious terrorist attack. It was so serious that several people died. I think I heard today, yesterday actually, I think when I first heard it, but I think it was emphasized today. One of the police officers ended up killing himself. I love you back, Street, and I bless your gift 1,000-fold. We found out that the white supremacists who came to storm the Capitol beat to death, murdered another white police officer. Is that right, family? We saw that some of the insurrectionists, some of the terrorists had items that clearly showed that they wanted to abduct and take hostages, right? We know it was serious. Notwithstanding the one or two of you little bootlicks and you bones and biscuits that was out there. Don't know when to stay home and when to twitch your hips in the streets. We know it was serious. Because who some of the main players were. What do you mean, Vicki? Y'all know I discussed this last week. You know, last week I discussed James Clyburn, right? Well, I got to discuss him a little bit more today, and Obama, because I started to think more on these two. And I started to think about why they and other black bones and biscuits are complicit with what took place on last week and what might be happening more in the future. Watch this. Again, family, don't forget that our beautiful moderators in the chat will put important links that you may want to note. So just pay attention to those throughout the broadcast and be sure to take note of those. What do you mean, Vicki? Do you remember last week? I reminded you of some of the folk that attended the terrorist attack, the insurrection? How many of y'all remember? Remember when I read you from the article? This is from LA Times. The title of this one, y'all remember last week I discussed this? Several GOP state lawmakers joined and observed the DC riot. Now, you all saw where they just arrested one of them. Who did I say? I said that GOP, that stands for Grand Old Party. That's just another term for the Republican Party or conservatives. Several GOP state lawmakers were there. Don't nobody care nothing about that one or two bones and biscuits. One or two of y'all out there talking about some, well, I was out there and I didn't see. We ain't got time to play with your slowness game. We're not finna turn around and trade biscuits with you. We're not doing no biscuit buffet with you, slowness. We're just gonna leave you in the house with masks in them. We're not even trying to reach you. We don't even acknowledge you as a member of the Black community. Keep it in mind. What happened last week cannot be seen in a piecemeal fashion, family. That means you cannot isolate what happened last week, compare it to Black Lives Matter, call them protesters, and say, well, they was just mad about the pandemic. None of them was out there talking about no pandemic. None of them were out there talking about because they lost a job. No matter where you are in the hierarchy of white supremacy, they know that the time is late, as the book of Revelation discusses, when the book of Revelation says that it's styled as the devil knows his time is up. So he comes to the earth to make havoc. You heard Joe Biden screaming at Reverend Al Sharpton and the other useless so-called legacy civil rights leaders. Remember, you heard Joe Biden say what in that leaked video a few days back? Joe Biden says, quote, we are doomed. He means they are doomed. Who, Vicky? Joe Biden said in the leaked tape, what? He said that they're about to be, Europeans are, about to be the minority, European minority. Remember Joe Biden said that to Black folk? And remember Joe Biden said to those Black civil rights leaders, what? That the Hispanic folks are about to increase in number and that how we're going to have to work with them. This is at the forefront of every white person knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously. Because not our Black scholars only, but their white demographers, their white statisticians, their white scientists and scholars have shown them that their numbers are decreasing, not because Black folks are doing anything to them. Their birth rates are decreasing. Their death rates are increasing. This is their concern. They're concerned that they're getting ready to lose power. So the reason why folk keep voting for Donald Trump, even against their own so-called interest, even when he says the most outlandish, racist, slanderous things, even when he is openly admitting that he sexually assaults women, even when he lies to the evangelicals to tell them that he's pro-life, when in his own personal life, reports have shown that he's paid for almost a dozen women to get abortions. The reason they all ignore that is so that white folks can maintain places of power even when they're in the minority. So Black folks, stop saying what's wrong with them. They're gonna, die on a hill. They're voting for Trump. They see he's a pervert. They see he's a liar. They see he's a failed businessman. They see he steals from folks. They see he sleeps around. He's never met a wife that he didn't cheat on. I love you back, Bernita. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for saying you love me and you're sharing. You're so knowledgeable beyond limits. Keep teaching. Thank you, beloved. It's because they're concerned that they are losing power. And no matter who it is, if they're agreeing to maintain white supremacist control, Brett Kavanaugh, they'll let you on the Supreme Court. They'll make you the president of the United States. They'll re-elect you, Lindsey Graham, even though you do absolutely nothing for even the poor white people of your state. Are you all getting it now? Back to my point here. Y'all know I got to break it down my way. I was saying that the seriousness of last week is so serious. As I've broken down to you in a report last week, who attended? GOP lawmakers. They're arresting now lawmakers that not only instigated the incident, like, what's that white Latino's name? Ted Cruz. See, y'all forget that, don't you? Before somebody says, well, Vicky, Latinos come from black folk too. They got deep melanin too. They're brown slowness. I'm a woman of the world. I love all people. That's not the issue. You don't need to tell me nothing. You need to go tell the Ted Cruzes of the world. Why are you checking off on your documents that you are a white Latina or Latino? Did you hear what I said? Don't come to me telling me black and brown, Vicky, we're supposed to be people of the world. Slowness, because we're supposed to be that. I'm wondering, why are our brown brothers and sisters checking off on the boxes that they are white Latinos? You don't need to come to me and tell me nothing. I know that they have African and black roots. Because of that, I want to know, why do they come here and vote for Trump in droves and start to work with the white supremacists who works against black people and still checking off on the boxes that they're white Latinos? Do you understand that deepness right there? I said, did you understand that deepness right there? Somebody talk black to me. So it's not just the U.S. senators who are responsible for lying and instigating that white supremacist insurrectionist terrorist attack, but there are actual lawmakers, state lawmakers, that were actually physically, watch this, invading the Capitol. But that's not all. The seriousness of the terrorist attack of last week, are y'all listening? Thumbs up, like and share, family. The seriousness of who attended, and there were many, of who else attended. Was it just because, Vicky, it was lawmakers that instigated it? No. Vicky, was it just because it was lawmakers that actually physically joined the mob and the insurrectionists and the terrorists to invade the Capitol? That should be enough, but no. Guess what else happened? I said, guess what else happened? Who else attended, family? Didn't we find out that there were police officers who attended and who helped to invade? But that ain't all. I've been telling you this long before last week. How many of you have followed me on FlyNewBeingQueenTV.com? Again, some of my content airs on this network and others. How many of you all remember me making it very clear for a long time that the reason why these white supremacist Nazi organizations are effective is because they are the police and the police are them. They work together. They look out for each other. How many of you all know that when you all were sitting there licking the boots from certain black militia so-called leaders, I was telling you my issue was not quote unquote just with black militia leaders. I told you my concern was when we found out that the Boogaloo Boys were reaching out to the black militia groups and asking them to protect them, and they were not roundly rebuked and rejected. How many of you all know that my issue was not black folks standing to defend black folk? How many of you all know my issue was I was concerned about these white supremacist groups and how local police were going to set up the black militia groups because of how they were moving. How many of y'all remember that? By the way, family, don't forget to check out our store at shopfnq.com. Check out our store at shopfnq.com. We have all kinds of products available at shopfnq.com, especially for the black woman in your life, your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, your niece, your daughter. You want to check out shopfnq.com and get them all kinds of gifts there. Watch this. Who else was there? This latest CBS report that was just issued today, and this wasn't the only ones. What does that report say? What does that headline say, family? Family, keep sharing, keep liking, keep sharing, keep liking. Keep sharing, keep liking, family. Please. And again, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. My name is spelled Vicki. And follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky, my last name first. Look, that headline says, officer resigns as Army investigates her involvement in Washington rally. That's a lie. There was no rally that led to U.S. Capitol riot. You who willfully choose to be slow. It wasn't just those one or two run-of-the-mill, big belly white supremacists that y'all would say maybe live in a trailer park, trash, got 3 or 4 or 5 or 20 missing teeth, and the ones that they have left are, black and dark and brown, and their trucks are bigger than their homes that they live in. Somebody talk black to me. It's not that white supremacist stereotype. They were in the mix too. Watch this. Thank you to my fan page in the digital building and y'all support. Listen. Officer resigns. So who was in the mix? When I asked the question last week, was this an inside job? And now we're hearing everybody specifically say the same thing. Who was there? Lawmakers? Police officers? That was a part of the mob. Who else? White folk who are active military. This says, again, this piece was just written today, a psychological operations officer who the Army is investigating for leading a group of people from North Carolina. Y'all, I can't. I'm going to need to, y'all play too much. A psychological operations officer who the Army is investigating for leading a group of people from North Carolina to the rally in Washington that led to the deadly riot in the U.S. Capitol had already resigned her commission, CBS News correspondent David Martin reports. Commanders at Fort Bragg said they were reviewing Captain Emily Rainey's. Let's look at Emily. Look at Emily. Some of you all are enthralled by Emily. Some of you all would have put your life on the line. You would have gave the middle finger to a black woman, but this is who you love and like, some of y'all. Look how sweet Emily looks. Look at Emily. Look at Emily. Look at Emily. Who knew Emily was a terrorist? Y'all play too much. I have told you all on a number of occasions that the law enforcement officers, remember the past times where we were talking about holding officers accountable? They're not being held accountable in courts. And most of the times they're not even fired. But I told you the few that are getting fired, I told you that they were going to turn around and use their expertise and the inside knowledge through law enforcement and in the military. When they are busted, they're going to turn around and use that knowledge and their training for their own purposes. Listen, Emily. Commanders at Fort Bragg said they were reviewing Captain Emily Rainey's involvement in last week's event in the nation's capital. Some of you are serving with some of these folks in the barracks with them, in the dirt with them. You on tours with them. Some of you have agreed to save, quote unquote, save their lives. And you don't even know, and I don't know how you couldn't, that they are quietly harboring these white supremacist beliefs. And when they're out of uniform, they put on another military uniform and are happy to work against you. Watch this. She's in the military and she led. Y'all play too much. They said she's been investigated for leading a group of people from North Carolina. She was willing to claim, and I know I was saying it a long time ago. Didn't I tell y'all a long time ago? They love to tell us how we're patriots because we serve in the military. We're patriots because we're in law enforcement, because white folks disproportionately make up law enforcement. They disproportionately make up, they make up a lot of folks in the military, even though black folks' numbers in the military are actually disproportionate based on our slender numbers in America. Watch this. I've told you, for some of them sign up not because they're heroes, not because they want to serve and put their lives on the line. You must be ignorant to think that's all that's up to. You don't know who your open enemy is if you think that's what's happening. I told you that the reason why, I'm waiting for some of you all to tell me what I've taught you. The reason why some of them sign up is so that they can scratch their itch to kill. And do it under what? Color of law, safely behind the badge or their uniforms, which means that they can get away with it. You were sitting there believing the hype when they were saluting the flag and they had the flags all in their yards and on their trucks. You were believing that while they were dogging the black athletes and they were sitting there saying you're disrespecting the flag, I'm the one that reminded you on a regular basis a long, long time ago that can't nobody tell black folk nothing about patriotism. We are the ultimate patriot. What do you mean? Black folk invented America. America was not something that the white supremacists could do. It's the reason they oppressed us and stole our labor to bring it into existence. Pay attention. I'm holding court today. All rise. Listen. They did not have the skills to build the intelligence to bring into existence the most powerful nation the world has ever seen. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Like and share, like and share. For those of you that are just coming in, my name is Vicki Dillard. I'm a very proud contributor right here on Your Black World TV and FlyNubianQueenTV.com, as well as several other affiliate networks where our show is re-aired. We're so honored that you have joined us today. You are so blessed because I'm doing a special live The Vicki Show all this week right here on Your Black World. Set your alarms, set your clocks, put it on your schedules. Tell your whole family, friends, loved ones, all of your homegirls in the beauty shop. Text them while you're socially distanced and your mask on. Barber shop, those in your business and homes and on the job. Let them know that the Vicki Show is airing this week, 6 p.m., not 6:30, or close to between 6 and 6:30 live. So check right here on Your Black World. On the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, please hit the thumbs up button, like, and share. Are you ready? I'm getting ready to move further with this. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh, this is a primetime show. This is a black show that's on 5 days a week. And I'm so honored to be with you. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I beg your pardon for coughing in advance and me with the lozenges. I'm taking care of my medical situation. So thank you so very much. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So I can finally get into this stuff with the black bootlicks. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, like and share. Now watch this. This is a psychological operations officer, Emily, that I just showed you, right? Again, commanders at Fort Bragg said they were reviewing Captain Emily Rainey's involvement in last week's events in the nation's capital. But she said she acted within military regulations and that no one in her group broke the law. But we don't know. We have no reason to believe that. She says, I was a private citizen and doing everything right and within my rights. They broke into the Capitol, lady. They were getting ready to take hostages. One of them had explosives in their car. Y'all killed the police. Several other people died. Reports of you all was in there smoking weed, further violating the law. A defense official told CBS News the Army is investigating, are y'all ready for this? How many soldiers from Fort Bragg accompanied Rainey to Washington? I ain't even got on the black bootlicks yet. I have to discuss this because I'm seeing a couple of useless biscuits out here trying to make light of what your open enemy was doing this last week. Did y'all catch what I just said? I said a defense official told CBS News the Army is investigating how many soldiers, y'all play too much, from Fort Bragg accompanied Rainey to Washington. The white supremacist that's in the military and that's on law enforcement, they are laying low and acting as sleeper spies, in my opinion, by their activities and behavior. They're taking their training and all of the insights for warfare, and they turned around and used it against their country. What they did last week had nothing to do with protesting, nothing. They were lying on behalf of Trump to take over the government, y'all. Why didn't Officer Rainey, little Emily, why didn't she take her and a whole team of other military officers in the street all last year when black folks were saying that they were killing us? Why didn't she take a bus load of them for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor? I'm gonna need y'all to help. If black folks are citizens, and if Black Lives mattered, and if folks were concerned about the state of the nation, why didn't she get a busload of soldiers from Fort Bragg for Breonna Taylor? They, who's they? White lawmakers, white military active soldiers, and white law enforcement. They weren't on the outskirts of the Capitol. They helped to infiltrate it. Now that I've made that point very thoroughly, when we look at the seriousness, the deadliness, watch this, the danger, and how unhinged and untamed the white supremacist is. Who's been saying that for the long time? Who's been sounding the alarm? The white supremacy is the number one danger to America and the world. Shout out to you, Victoria. Shout out to you, James. Keep doing your thing, sister. Thank you, beloved. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Looks like we hit 3,000. Oh my goodness. Y'all in here heavy, even though YouTube didn't even send out the notification. Shout out to you all. Keep showing up all this week and tell 10 more people. Tag 20 more people. This is your Black Primetime Show, 5 days a week. My name is Vicki Dillard. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicky, and also be sure to subscribe to VickiDillard.tv, would you? Throughout the broadcast, our beautiful moderators that are highlighted in blue are going to be putting important links that you might be interested in. So please make sure that you take note of them and copy them for later, okay? Thank you so very much. Listen, now that I've made that point, Black folk, like myself and other conscious Black people, have been talking about how dangerous white supremacy is. And when you don't hold these white supremacists accountable, meaning when you don't punish them, and when you turn instead to punish and rebuke Black folks for telling you that they're a danger, you create the environment for white supremacist murderers and terrorists to thrive. I'm going to say that slow. When you Black person, when you Black people are aware of the danger of the white supremacist and you do nothing about it, you allow the beast, as it were, just like in the jungle, just like when you're dealing with a wild animal, right? When you don't bring that thing to heel. Lisa, thank you for being my greatest inspiration. Oh, you're so welcome. It's my honor and privilege, beloved. Thumbs up, like and share. Listen, when you don't take it seriously and you don't hold them accountable, when you don't bring like a literal dog to heel, when you let the dog tear up the house, when you don't punish the dog, when you don't put the dog on the leash, somebody talk Black to me. When you don't properly train the dog, when you don't put the dog in a kennel or a cage or behind a fence, what will that dog do, family? I said, what will the dog do? Because you have failed to train your own animal. People that own dogs and they don't have the proper fencing. They're not properly keeping tabs, and then they turn around and bite somebody and they get mad when their butts get sued or they get a charge. What happens if somebody that has an animal and they bite somebody and then they turn around and say, well, they don't normally bite though. They don't usually bite though. He's friendly normally. See, that's what some of you funny looking Negroes say about your 466-year-old open enemy who sodomizes you, sexually abuses you, sets your house on fire, crucifies you. You say, well, they wasn't that bad. I learned how to tiptoe around white people. I normally know what to say and stuff. They bit you that time. They invaded the Capitol. They beat to death even a white police officer. One of them had explosives in the car. Other people died. What? What? I have to use that analogy because black folk, some of you rock your own self to sleep. And you want us not to hold you accountable for not. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You get mad because I call you black folk out for not properly perceiving the threat. I hold you all accountable for not properly perceiving the threat because everything that took place was absolutely foreseeable. Norman says there's footage of the riot showing a black police arm backed up and run. Yes, watch this. Not just that. I tweeted about this the other day. Black police officers that were the ones that were supposed to hold down all of these crazy terrorists. Do you know that it is trained black police officers that said that this was organized, that these were professionals? So anybody that's black that's out there saying it wasn't that bad, in addition to all of the other heavy receipts I've given you since last week and today, black officers said these were white supremacists. Black officers who are trained said that these were trained terrorists. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Keep hitting that thumbs up button, like and share, family. Get back to what you're going to say, Vicky. Say it. Watch this. What am I saying? Well, let me read this disclaimer. Y'all know I believe in following the rules on these platforms. Somebody talk black to me. That's how we know there's something else that's afoot when they pretend like we don't follow the rules. We cross every T, dot every I. We go overboard. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for purposes of fair use, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit education or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. I also want to be clear that the thoughts and opinions that are expressed by me are not necessarily those of the network or our affiliates. They are my own. Watch this, and they are all based upon information and belief. Listen, what are you talking about? How many of you all know this fella here? I just showed you another picture of him side by side with the former president. Do you see that quote right there? Jim Crow Clyburn. What does that say? He says, James, this is from CBS, by the way. Y'all see that CBS label at the top? That's from CBS. James Clyburn says, somebody on the inside. Sounds like he's watching the Vicky show. I said, sounds like he's watching the Vicky show. Somebody on the inside of Capitol was complicit in letting rioters inside the building. What the irony is of James Clyburn, y'all know I talked about him last week, but I've got to emphasize this today in connection with him and Obama. The irony, I said the irony of Jim Crow, Jim Clyburn, is this.
Next part of this, which is what makes this even more troubling with what you were sharing with our folks this morning. Part two of this, of what you were reporting about, is talk about the damage to your offices. You have two different offices in the Capitol. Explain it to our viewers.
Well, I have an office in the Capitol, which is in the so-called Lincoln Room, named after Abraham Lincoln. That office has my name on the door, and it has Majority Whip above the door, and it's just off of Statuary Hall. Anybody walking through Statuary Hall can see that office. Now, that's not where I do most of my work. Up on the third floor is where I do most of my work, and there are many members of the United States Congress right now who could not tell you where that office is and could not find that office if they needed to. Yeah.
I've been there. It's hard to find, sir. I agree. It is not easy. Yes.
Yeah, but they found it. Nobody touched the door where my name is. But they were on the floor, and my staff was inside my inner office with furniture piled at the door, with people trying to get in that did not let them in. My question is, how did they know where that office was? That, to me, needs a thorough investigation.
Okay.
And I do believe that there were some sensitivities here. There were people taking selfies with these insurrectionists.
Okay, we understand. We get the point, right? Like I said, I discussed him last week, but I wanted to emphasize this other part because I'm scared that we have not remembered that he said something a few months ago. How many of you all remember that I dubbed the uprisings, the just uprisings, the holy uprisings? I dubbed it the holy uprisings. It went from holy uprising week to weeks to month to just holy uprising 2020. And I actually borrowed that phrase from from our brothers and sisters during the civil rights era when they were setting all kinds of cities on fire because they were murdering Black people. And during the time where over 100 cities went up in flames, did you all know that they dubbed that holy uprisings back in the day? See, white media did not tell you how it was mostly Black men without nuclear weapons, without AK-47s and 15s, or whatever the modern arsenal was during that time. They didn't want you to know that Black men who were in touch with their Black masculinity, who wasn't weeded up, cracked up, heroin up, they weren't always out of their minds. Black men who were being murdered, they didn't tell you that the reason why the government started to flood the neighborhoods with a lot of drugs and the reason why they started these scientific mental experiments on them was in retaliation to the damage that Black men did to hold this country accountable for its mistreatment. They emphasized the civil rights era and Dr. King and all of that kind of stuff, but they didn't discuss the numerous cities. Did you all know that there were hundreds and hundreds of folks that died, thousands arrested, millions and millions and millions of dollars in damage that Black men without military weapons mostly did to this nation? They suppressed that in the media because they wanted you to believe that we was only talking about civil rights because they did not want to spark or give you any ideas. They didn't want you following the patterns of Black men who said, you kill us, you mess with my woman, you steal from us, you lynch us, we're going to fight back injustice. They don't want you to get any ideas. So when many of you don't study your history, you actually got funny looking Black women and Black men that's out there acting like then none of us fight back. And you all didn't understand that the whole reason the government flooded the neighborhood with drugs. You guys didn't understand that the reason why they started the psychological warfare against us was because of that very threat. You guys act like you're not aware of the White House documents that was constructed, the studies that were done to demand that the government, the Nixon White House even, to provide reparations and resources specifically for black folk because they knew this was getting ready to get out of hand. You all know I never teach you to be reckless. You all know I told you for a long time, me being someone that was an activist, that was on the front lines, that was protesting in front of banks, protesting, some of the most powerful people sat down face to face with some of these states attorneys generals that were responsible for negotiating the multi-billion-dollar deal with Wall Street. That was me that was doing activist work, and there was a reason why I was targeted in a federal criminal case. Can't nobody tell me nothing. See, it's just the new people that's been out there on the front lines that want to ask me what you do. In addition to me funding pro-black organizations and people, in addition to me behind prison lines teaching, and too many other things to name. But you all are not aware of the extreme and extraordinary threat we pose to the system. But you all know I've been teaching you for a long time that we must not be in the streets like that now in the same way, because you're a soft threat. When I started to tell you, when people were saying, well, they out there killing the black protesters. The black protesters was nonviolent. They didn't do nothing. And bam, pop, 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 pop. I told you then it's because they're working with the police. I told you then it's because the law enforcement is working with them. They're giving them the heads up. They're a part of the same organization. Some of them have the same tattoos. They're part of the same groups. They take the same oaths. They're doing the same rituals. And so some of you that are out there, you're a target for them, and they're setting it up so that they can murder you and claim that there was some violence that just broke out and you just accidentally got shot in the back of the head. I kept showing you footage, haven't I? Didn't I? Of law enforcement, for example. One example is when a law enforcement police officer was recorded telling the white supremacist boys where to go hide because of the work that they were getting ready to give the real protesters. We were telling you how unwise it was. See, when you execute a certain type of strategy at one time, you have to adjust the strategy in the war for the saving of more lives. Shout out to you, Kat, for your $50 gift. Showering knowledge on the people. Blessings. Thank you for your $50 gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. And all of you that are supporting Financially Black Media. Thank all of you that's liking, sharing. Every one of you make a difference. Those of you that are tuning in, thumbs up. Those of you that are copying the link and sharing it to everybody else. Those of you who set your clocks to say every day this week, Vicky, God willing, will be on Your Black World TV for a special edition of War Briefings at 6 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to that's my girl, Naturally Toured. She's a part of the VI. Newbies better catch up. You've been telling us all of this, sis. Thank you, sis. And I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Listen, I told you then. The reason it's successful, the reason why the police are not going to come out and dog out Kyle Rittenhouse, that white boy that shot up, they're not going to do that because they work with each other. They were all at the same Klan meeting the other day. They all signed in. They know, what is the police going to say something for when they know that the police knows that that white supremacist is going to come out with text messages from the police. Y'all play too much. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Listen. Get back to this feed. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Family, don't forget to join the blackbusinessschool.com. Start a black business, learn from black people. We give you actionable knowledge on these networks. Why do we emphasize that? Because if you're getting 100% of all of your money from your white supremacist bosses, you are in deep trouble. I'm so grateful for you and your platform and all you're doing. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. You would be unwise to get 100% of your income in this day and time from your open enemy. So that's why we emphasize go to flynubianbusiness.com or theblackbusinessschool.com. Listen, the interesting thing about you hearing Jim Crow Clyburn show fear and concern about how police treated him as a congressman. And now all of a sudden he's using phrases like an inside job, phrases we use. And I broke this down last week, even when they tried to censor me on one of our other platforms and shut down the video. Watch this. Jim Crow Clyburn said during the holy summer of the Black Summer Uprising, watch this. Look at this headline from Newsweek. What did Jim Crow Clyburn say, family? Look at that Newsweek headline. It says, House Majority Whip James Clyburn says nobody is going to defund the police, but U.S. needs to deconstruct the system. Just a few months ago, not years. Congressman Jim Crow Clyburn had a Damascus Road experience. He came to Jesus real quick, and it was the Black Jesus this time. The Black Jesus he came to just a few months ago. It says House Majority Whip in South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn said that protesters should aim to deconstruct the U.S. policing system that targets young Black people, not simply defund the police. That's the irony, y'all. I know I referred to him last week and stuff, but we need to emphasize that again. And I stand with other Black media that's emphasizing this again because I'm trying to stop you would-be coons, bones, and biscuits and sambos and shuckers and jivers. I'm trying to save y'all's life. I'm trying to shut down you running back to the chitlins and cotton. I'm trying to give you a new destiny. Because every time I look at James Clyburn, I always just smell and see cotton and chitlins. Chitlin and cotton, cotton and chitlins, cotton, chitlins, chitlins, and cotton. Free says, Q Free says, you've been shedding light, sis. Thank you, beloved. I'm trying to keep you from the cotton. Listen. Listen. It says the Democrat responded Sunday to the latest police shooting death of a Black man, Rayshard Brooks, by an officer in Atlanta Friday evening, saying there is a culture problem with the country's police departments. Watch this. But Clyburn said, quote, nobody is going to defund the police anywhere in the United States or in Congress. Telling CNN host Jake Tapper that police officers, quote, have a role in future changes to law enforcement. Do you know that Congress, which Jim Crow Clyburn is a part of, do you know they're calling for an independent investigation? Did you guys know that Jim Crow Clyburn did not realize last summer, he didn't just say nobody's going to defund the police. He said nobody is going to defund the police anywhere in the United States or in Congress. I want those of you Black-looking people to know that when you sell out your own people and you don't take our demands and our concerns and our living hell reality serious, it's coming to a theater near you. Are there any movie emojis? What kind of emojis do we have that signal a theater? It's not because I wish this on you. It's just one of those universal principles that you're bringing upon yourself. Not only that, Do you remember Jim Crow Clyburn? Somebody talk black to me. Do you remember Jim Crow Clyburn, when asked about reparations? Y'all remember that? Y'all play too much. Do you all remember what Jim Crow Clyburn said about reparations? Y'all don't remember? He said it's not going to happen. He made it clear it's impossible. Reparations. He said it in a hostile manner. He joined the ranks of Mitch McConnell, Barack Obama, and Bernie Sanders in rejecting reparations. Y'all remember that? But let's talk about Barack Obama, because Jim Crow Clyburn is not the most prominent black politician. How many of you all remember, and this is under the Copyright Act of 1976, although this is all over social media, I don't even need to quote this, but I like to cross my T's, dot my I's, and go beyond. As I'm doing that, thumbs up, like, and share. Don't forget to check out our store family at shopfnq.com. Every one of you that's here today, make sure everybody is subscribed to Your Black World TV. Don't just subscribe. Hit receive notifications to get all notifications. It gives you options now for the notifications to receive all notifications or just certain ones. So I want you to hit all notifications, okay? Today, YouTube didn't even send out the notifications, but I see many of you are still here. Thank you for showing up. But when you set your own alarms, when you set your own smartphones, even if these platforms are messing with us, beloved, you don't have to worry about it. I bless all of your gifts 1,000-fold. You know who you are. Thank you for supporting me and Black media. Listen, how many of you all remember Barack Obama's pastor, Reverend Jeremiah Wright? I'm never going to let us forget this. Y'all going to be like, Vicky, you always talk about this. Yes, because I'm right. And I'm connecting the dots. It's what we do. It's what I do. Somebody talk black to me. But let me first say this. Do you all remember when Reverend Jeremiah Wright righteously preached a message long ago about America's racism and how America not only mistreats us here in this country domestically in terms of her, excuse me, her racism, but he talks about how they go about the world mistreating the world, right? Remember when Reverend Wright made a few of these statements here?
Governments lie. God does not lie. Where governments change, God does not change.
2003.
And I'm through now. But let me leave you with one more thing. Governments fail. The government in this text, comprised of Caesar, Quirinius, Pontius Pilate, Pontius Pilate. The Roman government failed. The British government used to rule from east to west. The British government had a Union Jack. She colonized Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Hong Kong. Her navies ruled the 7 seas all the way down to the tip of Argentina in the Falklands. But the British government failed. The Russian government failed. The Japanese government failed. The German government failed. And the United States of America government, when it came to treating her citizens of Indian descent fairly, she failed. She put them on reservations. When it came to treating her citizens of Japanese descent fairly, she failed. She put them in internment prison camps. When it came to treating the citizens of African descent fairly, America failed. She put them in chains. The government put them on slave quarters, put them on auction blocks, put them in cotton fields, put them in inferior schools, put them in substandard housing, put them in scientific experience, put them in the lowest paying jobs, put them outside the equal protection of the law, kept them out of their racist bastions of higher education, and locked them into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating her citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme.
Did Reverend Wright lie? All I have for my intelligent black people is this question. Was Reverend Wright wrong? I'm looking in the chat. Was Reverend Wright wrong? I'm talking about Barry today. I'm talking about Barack Hussein Obama, the most notable black politician in America. Was Reverend, the only question I have is, was Reverend Wright wrong? So, if Reverend Wright was telling the truth, and Reverend Wright broke down in great detail America's terrorism around the world with an emphasis of her terrorism against black folk in America, and gave us a history in that short clip. When Reverend Wright, Barack Obama's pastor, who married him and who baptized his children, Reverend Wright, when Reverend Wright exposed white supremacy, how did Barack Hussein Obama respond to the intelligent black man who was saying and highlighting and exposing the damage and the deadly damage and the problem that white supremacy is? How did Obama respond to this truth? How did Barack Obama respond to Reverend Wright exposing the problem of American white supremacy? Listen with your own ears.
Forward, Reverend Wright does not speak for me. He does not speak for our campaign. I cannot prevent him from continuing to make these outrageous remarks, but what I do want him to be very clear about, as well as all of you and the American people, is that when I say I find these comments appalling, I mean it. It contradicts everything that I'm about and who I am. And anybody who has worked with me, who knows my life, who has read my books, who has seen what this campaign's about, I think will understand that it is completely opposed to what I stand for and where I want to take this country.
You don't understand that you powerful political black Negroes? Obama didn't call out racist white America. Obama and Jim Crow Clyburn actually punishes those of us that expose it and warn you of its danger. When you give white terrorist killers a pass, and when you create an environment, Obama, in Baltimore, remember what Obama called the black protesters? Remember he called them thugs? And remember, even as weak and as inept as the CBC is, the Black Congressional Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, as weak as they are, even they called out Obama. And guess what Obama did? The Obama administration doubled down on calling Black protesters thugs. See, when you create an environment to let them get away with Black murder, when you signal to the killers of Black people that there is no consequence. And see, the danger with these kind of Clyburns and Obamas is y'all don't just not punish white supremacists when you have the power to do it, the political capital to do it. You actually turn around and denounce the people that's calling it out. You not only fail to protect us, you actually went before the world to denounce the truth-telling of your Black pastor. You, Jim Crow Clyburn, came out publicly hostile to Black folks, talking to you about reparations and the demand from Black folks who were experiencing their loved ones being murdered by police. And you came out. I watched interviews of Jim Crow Clyburn on TV. He was literally, y'all, raising his voice at Black folk for saying defund the police. He didn't show that much anger at Trump. He didn't show that much anger at Jim Crow Biden. Somebody talk Black to me. When you do that, you create an environment for white supremacy to thrive and to run amok. Family, you all, Obama that is, and others like him, you think that you are the white supremacist whisperer. But the problem is there's no such thing. It's because the white supremacists, it's impossible for their appetite to be satiated. They're never satisfied. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing told us what? She told us that they will never change because they're motivated by existing. What she said, white folks that people that classify themselves as white, she said they have an issue and a fear of genetic annihilation. She said some know it consciously, some subconsciously. And she made it clear it won't change. So the offense and the betrayal is not only did you do nothing to protect us, not only did you not punish our killers, not only when Obama claimed that his people killed Osama bin Laden, didn't they have that all on TV? You still see pictures of him and Hillary and everybody. I think they was in the war room. You still see footage of the military going in, saying that they killed Osama. It's all over TV. They make a big deal about these terrorists. But you didn't make an elaborate You didn't treat it like a parade. The deadly part of Black folk, the betrayal, the blasphemy of the Negro. I said the blasphemy of the Negro is that even with all of that, when we told you it was a problem, you thumbed your nose and told us to get back into our place. Get back in the field. Keep frying that chicken. Keep whipping up those biscuits. When we told you to do something about it, when we told you this is a problem, the fact that you didn't believe us, the blasphemy, yes, the blasphemy of it all, the utter sin and treason is that you put no weight on our words and concerns. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. After 466 years of waiting in the very long line of justice, who are we to wait? How dare you ask us to wait another day, another minute, another second after 466 years of unspeakable hell that no people has ever known before? Who are we to wait? I know I'm talking to some of my brothers and sisters on Your Black World. Your Black World, you've heard me because I'm a contributor here as well, but you don't see me here as often. My Fly Nubian Queen family, my VHive knows me very well. I've given an example to you before. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Like and share. Don't forget also to sign up for clubvicky.com. Clubvicky.com is my weekly mastermind where every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, I drop a spiritual or a metaphysical jewel. I elaborate on it, and you have direct access to me there in that private VIP group to ask me questions. Join today for $1 for the first 30 days. After that, it's a very reasonable rate for what you get. $1, clubvicky.com. Go there today. Listen, I've given you this analogy before. I have a few siblings. My mother is an accomplished mother. She knows how to give birth. She knows what comes with it. And my mother doesn't speak a whole lot of fancy words, though she's extraordinarily intelligent. She was sharing with me one of her birth experiences. And she told me that when she was getting ready to give birth to one of my siblings, one of my brothers, in fact, she knew, because she's had other babies before, that she was getting ready. This baby was getting ready to come out. She felt the head coming out. And at the time, of course, it's many, many decades ago. We're in our 40s now. My mother said that my grandmother was with her just as she was getting ready to give birth to one of my brothers. And she said that she sent my grandmother to tell the nurse and doctors and them to come on in because she was getting ready to have this baby. And the most stunning thing ever has happened. How many of y'all know what I'm getting ready to say? Because some of you all follow me. Where my VHive at? Do y'all know what Mother D said? Do you all know what my mother said that they told my grandmother? My mother, getting ready to give birth, feeling the head of the baby coming, she told my grandmother, go tell them the baby is coming. They need to get in here. My mother said they told my grandmother to tell my mother to hold it. God, today. Y'all don't, do you know where I'm going? Where is my VHive at? My mother, who was pregnant, my mother, who was now, watch this, in the fullness of time to give birth to her baby. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Like and share. Mama said they had the nerve to tell my grandmother to tell her to hold it. Y'all saying, wow. Of course, my mother made it very clear, hold it. I give you this analogy to keep this in mind. I want you to use this analogy the next time somebody tells you reparations can wait. The next time they tell you that when we demand the race soldiers be punished, to wait. The next time they tell you that coronavirus checks and everybody else can get paid first and everybody and everything can come before you, I want you to tell them that when Black folk, we're in labor right now. And when you're in labor, when a woman is getting ready to have a child, rules, regulations, laws, policies, procedures, none of that matters. Because if the woman that's pregnant is on her way to the hospital, the person that's taking her gets to speed. And if they're pulled over, I wish the police would say, we're getting ready to cite you. Everything has to adjust. So next time they tell you to wait, I want you to tell them, once upon a time, there was a lady by the name of Mother D. And a doctor told her the same thing when she was getting ready to give birth. And the baby was crowning and she felt it. Imagine telling a woman that's getting ready to give birth to hold it. Who are we to wait? Our time has come. I said, our time has come. I was listening to a clip from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Y'all know Arnold Schwarzenegger's dad was one of those Nazis or something. How many of you all know I broke that news, did a show on it last year when I was busting the Simon Wiesenthal Center. And I was explaining how the Simon Wiesenthal Center out of California, when Arnold Schwarzenegger, y'all know, y'all play too much. Remember, I talked about that when I was busting the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Do you all remember when they came against Minister Farrakhan, they came against Deshaun, they came against, what's his name? Wildin' Out. What's the Wildin' Out guy's name, y'all? I'm tripping. Nick Cannon, thank you. Remember, I did a show on Nick Cannon last year and how Nick folded. We had his back, he folded. Do you all remember that I did a show breaking down one of the very entities that was attacking him? I gave y'all the receipts on the Simon Wiesenthal Center, and I broke down the fact that they were slicksters, that they were liars. I broke down another organization, the people that was connected to that center. I broke down how the one that helped to bring a lot of money to them was a part of committing based on information and belief. They connected him to being one of the biggest fraudsters during the Great Recession, the mortgage crisis. So some of y'all saying yes. My day ones know. Do you remember that during those shows, y'all like, well, Vicky, what all I got to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Do you guys remember? Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California. And how the Simon Wiesenthal Center got this extra money. And Governor Schwarzenegger helped to make sure that that money was earmarked for them. Why? How? Because they had information that his daddy, y'all better what? They had information that his daddy was one of those Nazis or whatnot. And so they wanted to keep it hush-hush so that they wouldn't blow up the situation on him. They basically used that based on the reports that I read to you as a bribe. And Schwarzenegger kept it hush-hush. And they managed to get extra money, they said, during a time where everybody else was suffering. One of those organizations, y'all remember. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger just came out admitting that his daddy did that. And he said he kept it hush-hush because of the humiliation, embarrassment, and all that. But he brought it up now because he likened the actions of his father and others like him to the action of those terrorists that stormed the Capitol. What I want you to know is this. We understand what he means about the threat and the danger that Hitler was to them, right? I make light of nobody's suffering. The problem is, how is it that other people make light of ours? Nobody, nowhere has suffered and has been the recipient of the most inhumane treatment more than any other group of people, family. Watch this. For longer than anybody else. Somebody put 466 in the chat. We make light of nobody's suffering, but nobody has received the same type of treatment for 466 years. The Jews, the white Jews, got reparations. Black folk, we've never gotten reparations. I don't know why YouTube is hiding y'all putting 466 in here. Listen, they got reparations. The United States even pushed forward and assisted. The Nazis are not threatening the Jews today, and they are not the ones that's being shot down in the streets, murdered, poisoned, warehoused. Not only have we not received reparations, white supremacist America has not ceased nor desisted her evil against us. Nobody, but nobody has that history. And who am I not to remind the world of that reality? Who am I not to be a voice for our ancestors to bring that to your remembrance? I'm going to get ready to go now. The point of all of this is for you to pay attention, to remain wise. You stay your hips out of the streets, family. You keep unifying. You build in silence and you build in secret. You get you an additional form of income. You remain excited about teaching your own babies now. And you prepare to rule the world to come. Watch your back, watch each other's back. But know that what you're seeing unfold before your eyes is a sign and a wonder. It's a mark that there is a changing of the gods. That there is a new world that's on the horizon. And it's time for us to get ready. I love you. Go to shopfnq.com so that you can purchase all kinds of pro-Black material and apparel. Make sure that you join my weekly mastermind on Wednesday nights, clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. That's Vicky X Dillard. My name is spelled VICKI. Also, subscribe to my personal YouTube channel at vickydillard.tv. That's vickydillard.tv. And follow me on Twitter at DillardVicky. I honor you. You're such a special people. I bow to you. You are my bliss. Thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, God willing, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Your Black World TV.